My name is Michael Mastro. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the chart for J.P. Morgan, a very famous, wealthy philanthropist who is said to be one of the main people who built America during the Industrial Revolution. If you look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you would see the constellation associated with Aquarius rising at 4 degrees. 4 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house using sidereal zodiac, not Western tropical zodiac. And any planets like Mercury, like the Sun, that are within 5 degrees of that 4 degree rising sign degree have a lot of impact in the chart. We're going to first look and see how the planets are operating, then we'll see when they're operating at the timing of events, and then we can see what we could do to rectify or improve the chart. So want to see where the multicona signs are, which are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9, and 11. So, many of the planets rule two signs, but one of them is the multicona sign. So first multicona sign we see is Aries, ruled by Mars. So he's learning about how to have entrepreneurial success, that third house. And then the next one we see is the fourth sign, which is Cancer, ruled by Moon in the sixth house. Sixth house is learning how to overcome your enemies. Then in the next multicona sign is Leo, ruled by Sun in the seventh house, learning how to operate in partnerships. Then the next one is Virgo, ruled by Mercury in the eighth house, learning how to overcome obstacles and gain windfalls in your life through research and learning about astrology. The next one is Libra, ruled by Venus in the ninth house. Ninth house is learning how to work with the government, learning how to gain good fortune, learning about religion. Very spiritual person. Then the next one is Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter in the 11th house of income, learning about friends and income and social connections. Then the last one is Aquarius, ruled by Saturn, ruling the first house. The first house has to do with life purpose, and Saturn being there has to do with helping humanity. So let's see how the planets are operating individually. Here we have Sun at 5 degrees, close to the most effective point. It is exalted. In fact, 4 of his planets are exalted, and that in itself gave him great wealth. So it is afflicted by Mercury, so there can be some challenges, but it gave him power through business partnerships, bringing businesses together, creating trusts and monopolies, industrial trusts like GE and U.S. Steel and the rail companies. This was very controversial, and Sun is also about government, so there was some criticism from the government, although he did bail out the government twice from bankruptcy. He had good support from his father, although his father traveled a lot. He learned about finance from his father. Moon is at 23 degrees. It is so any multicona sign, the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th house becomes challenging. So you have Moon is challenging and Mercury is challenging. So Moon can cause some challenges. Moon is ruling the house of enemies. So he was learning about how to overcome his enemies like Rockefeller and Vanderbilt and the government in some cases had critics of his style of business, of creating monopolies. He definitely had some health issues. Moon is about lungs, and his wife died of lung cancer. He himself, Moon is mind, and so he did have depression, headaches, and then also this is the house that can create stress in relationships. So divorce, he didn't have divorce, but there was a lot of stress in the relationships. And this is house of deception. He did have a mistress. Um, and this also rules the digestion. So he died of gastroenteritis, and he was defrauded. So this is um, deception, defrauded by Tesla and other competitors. Tesla, he wanted to build this transatlantic communication, and he put up all the money for it, and then Tesla only would do it if he could do it for the world, so he felt defrauded. Mars is at 20 degrees. It is conjunct Jupiter, and in that sixth house of conflicts and delays and enemies, and it is ruling the house of income. So he got his income through bailing out the debts of the government and other companies by uniting them and creating these strong, the weak companies, bringing them together, creating one strong monopoly of the railroads and the steel companies and GE. Venus is exalted, and it is also ruling the house of good fortune, placed in the house of wealth. So that's quite a wealth building planet. It also represents wife. So he got his good fortune and wealth through banking. This is banking and governments, dealing with the governments, bailing out the governments from bankruptcy twice. And also, it also has to do with conveyances. He invested in yachts and art. Half of his wealth went to art, beauty. It also represents the second house's face and beauty, and he did have this deformity of his nose caused by skin issues, and that is also related to Mercury. Let's see here. Let's go back here. So Mars, we did. So Moon, we did. Okay, Mars is conjunct Jupiter. We did that. Mercury is afflicting Sun, and it caused a windfall through research into companies, and he had a strong interest in astrology. Evangeline Adams was his astrologer. He actually had this quote that said that anyone can be a millionaire, but to be a billionaire, you need an astrologer. So she was advising him a lot of his business deals. In fact, he invested in the Titanic and was going to go on the Titanic, and she told him not to. So he avoided, going down with the Titanic. Mercury is associated also with skin issues and nerves, and he learned many languages. Eighth house is the house of languages. Jupiter, we got that. Venus, we did. Let's see. Saturn is exalted through his life purpose came through strong discipline. And also mining and minerals and steel and coal, and then also its higher calling, which was philanthropy. Rahu and Ketu. Rahu gives desire in this case for success in business, and then Ketu gives insights into spirituality, into art, and into banking. This is the house of government and banking. So let's look at the timing of events. He was born into a Saturn period. That was the root of his tree of life, and Saturn is his life purpose, which his highest calling was to be in service to others, to be a philanthropist and help out others. His wife died during a Mars-Mercury period. Mercury is representing death-like experiences in this case. And then he, in 85, he started J.P. Morgan during a Jupiter-Saturn conjunct planetary period. Jupiter expansion, overcoming enemies. Saturn, all about good fortune, and also, the mining and the coal and the steel, etc. And then he became president of the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 1904, and that was during a Saturn K2 period. Again, the philanthropy, and K2 representing art in this case, expression of the deeper emotions. He died in 1919 of gastroenteritis. So Moon also, this is the house of health issues. So he had the skin issues, he had um, digestive issues, and it was during a period, the Mercury period. Again, Mercury having to do with death-like experiences in this case, and it was afflicting Venus, which is his end of life or good fortune. So those are the main points. What could we do to strengthen this chart? We could transform all the challenging planets. So he was already doing this. He was supporting, built a lot of churches for the Episcopal Church. So this K2, you want to transform by donating to spiritual spiritual institutions. Then Moon, helping women, helping women and helping people who cannot help themselves. Rahu as well. He donated to many, many, many charities. Mercury is helping children. He built a lot of schools, helped a lot of children's causes. So those are the main things. Then, if you want to, if we could have strengthened Venus, Sun, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn with a kavash, a locket, silver locket containing the Devata yantras for those planets, it would probably have improved his relationships. His second relationship didn't, marriage didn't work out too well. He had a mistress, and he was traveling all the time, and she wanted to just stay home. So that would have helped probably his relationships. And, his relationship with the government probably wouldn't have been so contentious if we strengthened Sun. Jupiter would have given even more income and expansion. Mars would have given less inflammation in the body. So Mars creates inflammation for the gastroenteritis and the skin issues. And I think those are the main points. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in a Vedic astrology reading, you can go to vastucreations.com under services. If you're interested in learning this transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu. We teach a level 1 and a level 2. Level 2 is for certification, and level 1, you can read your charts for yourself and your family. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this. And join my YouTube and click the bell if you liked it. Thanks again for listening.